My name is Sandeep Baaz, and I'm an industry analyst with Frost & Sullivan and DataCenter and cloud practice. And today we are going to discuss about whether IoT will disrupt everything or not. And before we start the debate, I would like to give you a short introduction about the IoT and the landscape. So I want to start the definition of IoT. Someone said IoT is not defined. So we define the IoT in our company like this. IoT is basically the connection of things to the internet structure and organization. And in a broad sense, it is virtualization and datafication of everyday objects and giving specific identities to these objects, interconnecting these objects and interacting with or monitoring them. So this is the whole definition that we define in Internet of Things. So my first question would be to Amit. Uh, what are some of the biggest challenges of IoT? We know about security. Do you see any other challenges? I mean, security is the biggest challenge right now.
Then regulation. Regulation becomes a critical issue when you talk about areas like, say, self-driving cars, right? Mm-hmm. Who is going to pay the insurance if there's an accident? Is it the person in the car? Is it the manufacturer of the car? Is it the software developer in the car? So things like that. So there are multiple areas which are there which needs to be tackled. But just quickly from a telecom service provider perspective, we are tackling the access space. We are running a pilot in India right now on the LP-WAN service using LoRa technology across 3 cities, Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai. We started it off about almost 6 months ago. And that is, it's taken good shape. And we are actually looking at how we can roll this out nationally and then take it globally. Right. So that's an in-house initiative that we started, as one of the innovation platforms inside Tata Communications, and that rollout is imminent.
Haytham, what are your views on the challenges?
So I think technology-wise, it's in good shape. Obviously, I feel better after hearing silence about the security of endpoints. It is a concern because if you look at smart building, for example, someone from your light bulb can go into your system and hide. So it is becoming complicated with the IP world in general, okay, not only in IoT. So yeah, business models and go-to-market, I see it from the business point of view is a big challenge.
So on these fronts, I completely see a growing importance and growing role of telcos as we move ahead. My perspective is it's going to be more and more closer interactions with telcos by IoT manufacturers, device manufacturers, and OTT players.
Haytham, you want to respond that?
No, I think, from Orange point of view, we have been able, because beyond the IoT, fixing, reducing cost on operations and improving customer experience on some areas, at Orange we find an opportunity with IoT and big data we brought a solution into market called Fluvision in our domestic market where basically we use our network data to push valuable information to enterprise customers, not the B2C, but B2B. In areas like, for example, tourism, where basically we help lots of tourism offices in France, because France is attracting lots of tourists, and we want to keep that in Chamonix and south of France, etc. But the thing is how we help these offices in real time to identify who is going to which area, and if it's a foreigner, if it's a resident, etc. So by doing that, dynamically the tourism office can deploy operation in a dynamic way to address these foreigners moving in the country. So we have 100 customers using this kind of platform, and it's an open platform basically to developers to go in and develop their own applications. Co-innovation is something we believe in, and it's beyond belief, it's also execution, and it's something that we started executing 2 years ago.
Based on the historical approaches and what happened to telcos across the world, as Amit rightly pointed out, I mean, why there are 90% users in India or in Asia-Pac region who are on prepaid? That tells you why pay-per-use will work always. why there's a complete shift from a postpaid billing to a prepaid billing across the world. It's primarily because people, it's not that somebody doesn't want to pay, let's say, $25 a month. It's there. They were paying it earlier. But even today also they pay $25 a month, but in pieces. So there is a need for people to accept the situation where they want to make use of it and pay for it. That's it. The amount remains same, but it's a comfort level, and it's how they want to use the technology, how they want to use it. And that is how, and just quoting one example which happened in Bangalore, government of Karnataka, which is the state government of Bangalore anyway, they had initiated a landscape system whereby for each of the property there will be a printout for them to locate their property, to locate their perimeter and the pricing of that property. Initially there was so much hesitation as to who will pay for it, because it's a complete landscaping of the entire state or city-wise. When that installation happened, it cost government huge. I mean, at one point in time, government said, okay, just we'll spend our own money and we'll give it for subscription. And let's see what happens. In a first month of its launch, when kiosks were launched, limited number of kiosks were launched for people to take the printouts of their properties, and the amount was probably 16 pence per page. That was such a small amount to pay for, 10 rupees in that sense. And within a month of that launch, the number of printouts which have been taken went beyond 70,000. Per day.
My next question will be to Haytham. Do you think the AI will become part of the IoT ecosystem?
The way we look at IoT today is mainly on the most common usage of IoT, where you have sensor deployed, measuring, capturing, uploading the data somewhere about factories, environment, health, toilets, other, etc. But I think IoT is not only about data, it's also the possibility from IoT in these connected devices should be able also can execute an action. And this is where, in fact, AI can play a role in that aspect. And this is where, in fact, IoT will become even more embedded in the real world, basically. Yeah. So definitely AI is going to be a good add-on into becoming more intelligent devices, basically.
So my next question will be to Panitharn again. Do you think our network is ready to handle the IoT? I mean, we're talking about so many devices.
From where I come from in Thailand, infrastructure-wise, I think we are ready. Just like we have all the competitors or providers for the broadband provider, which now all the way to houses, FTTX is almost everywhere. And the government now is having a program that issue all the fiber all the way to very sub-level of villages now. So soon, where I come from, the connectivity will become very, there. It's just a matter of the provider and with the business case that Haytham just mentioned, that to plug on top of it. Then we have an end-to-end IoT solution. But we talked about this morning, right? And Haytham has some view on top of that. Yes.
I think my counterpart here mentioned, I think there are different ways of connecting devices. There is the 3G, 4G, and 5G to come. There is the LoRa network or Sigfox. So at Orange, we chose often to go with LoRa. So we're deploying LoRa in 18 cities in France. There is the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth. So there are different ways of connecting devices to the network. So it's all about the use cases, and it's all about the usage, basically, to choose the right. But I feel that a network like LoRa is probably becoming very important to offload, basically, the load from the 3G, 4G, which would be a good hybrid type of model to go with IoT plus